Hello everybody, and welcome to episode 19. That was a really passionate gruff there, Scarlett. Well played. Way to really get the episode moving on a very energetic note. I love it. Welcome everybody to episode 19 of the podcast known as The Life I'm Lovin'. I am your host, Vincent. Here with me today and every day is the co-hostess with the mostest, DJ Skizzy Scarlett. Good girl, look at you go. You are a monster. Little bark machine over here. Before I get started, I feel like I should start letting you guys know about the things that you can do to ensure that you are getting notified and involved with myself and Scarlett through the podcast. So always remember to rate, subscribe, vote. Got a couple polls in there. I post one per episode. Get in there. You can also follow me. Follow me on Instagram. I'll be making a Life I'm Lovin' Instagram account soon. But wherever you get your podcasts, make sure to rate, subscribe, vote, and follow. I minimize that down to RSVP. Rate, subscribe, vote, follow. RSVF. Not a fan. Not as much pizzazz. Agreed, right? Not as much pizzazz. Thank you guys for listening, and feel free to reach out if you guys have any questions, comments, support. Anything I'm doing right, let me know. Anything I'm doing wrong, let me know even more. Because I want to do right. We gotta start off our episodes how we start off every episode. HWOW. I'm abbreviating a lot of stuff. HWOW. That's not really it though. How was our week? Trying to get Scarlett involved more with the segments here. So it went from how's my week to how's our week. Scarlett, how was your week? Yeah, mine was good too. This week I was back in the office for a few days. They did this thing where, in order to minimize the outside noise around our desks, my office raised the walls around our desks. Initially, it didn't look like it was a sound barrier move. It looked like they were trying to eliminate communication with next door neighbors. So initially I was like, hey man, not very cool. Once I realized it was more so about keeping outside noise out, I still didn't think it was very cool. At least you could have made them clear so we can at least see the people in front of us. Not the case. They're like all hazy, can't see anything. Does make me feel more like inside of a cubicle. Granted, there's 7 to 8 other people in this cubicle, but I do feel more connected to them in the cubicle than without the raised walls and outside of the cubicle. So, pros and cons. Now, while I was over here calling people and adding numbers together and getting documents, Scarlett was at daycare, having the time of her life with all these other doggos. Huh. Yeah. But the unfortunate part of that, the daycare that we have been taking Scarlett to, probably since she was 1, is closing down at the end of May. So that's something where if I had one of those soundboards, I would do like a, aww. Because it is like an aww moment. Because we really like that place. Wagley, Rancho Santa Margarita location. You guys were really great to little Scarlett here. Yeah. And I think Scarlett just said it best on behalf of Jen and myself that we're really grateful for you guys taking Scarlett in, giving her some of the best daycare moments of her life. Remember that time you won top dog? Do you remember that time that they dressed you up like a leprechaun and you smiled next to a rainbow? You really like to dress up, don't you? I'm excited to see what you choose for Halloween. So unfortunately, we're going to need to find another daycare center for her. So those daycare centers for dogs in the Anaheim Hills general area, probably within a 20-mile radius, look alive. Because we're going to be there, and Scarlett is going to take over that joint. Whichever joint she decides to take over. So, deal with it. In other news, once I started working from home again, once I was done in the office, I came across a nice little box containing a machine that I was quite enamored with. So backstory, when Jen has events, Christmas, birthday, those kinds of appreciation weeks at her office, they tend to exchange gifts. And I'm very grateful for it because they tend to give her things that are scented. Candles are a great example. I'm very appreciative of it because Jen's not a candle gal. I am a candle guy. So I tend to take all of her candles and use them in my office. But this time, I found a machine. And this wasn't just any machine. And I did have to ask Jen what exactly it was called because I thought it was called this, but then I thought of the name in a different way. So Jen got a diffuser from work. For those of you who don't know what a diffuser is, like myself before seeing this box, medicinenet.com defines a diffuser as an item that is used to dispense essential oils in your room. Again, I did ask Jen for what the name was while I was jotting down these notes, because a couple other words came to mind, like a mister, a vaporizer, a humidifier. Diffuser, for what I'm looking at here, and I have it on throughout this episode, because I feel like it's really been jazzing me up in a really positive way. So I like to keep it on when I'm in the room. Also looks really cool. And I'll go into details a bit, but diffuser, vaporizer, humidifier, mister, you tell me what this electronic device sounds like to you. So it is a cylinder-like object. Really cool cylinder, by the way. It has an outer coating, which you can take off and put back on. That's a bunch of dots, kind of like confetti, but going up. So there's a lot of confetti on the bottom, and then there's holes that go up this cylinder-like covering. Inside this cylinder-like covering is a smaller cylinder, which you can put water into. And after you put the water into it, there's a couple of small little glass bottles of essential oils. So this specific diffuser came with peppermint and lavender. I am a huge fan of lavender. I try to find lavender scented things and use them as much as I can. I love the smell of lavender. Very grateful that whoever got this gift for Jen got something with lavender in it. My body wash is lavender, so I'm smelling like lavender 24/7. And it comes with these oils, so once you put the water into the smaller cylinder, you put some drops of the oil in there, and then you cover it with the outer layer that looks like confetti coming from the ground. You turn it on, and ladies and gentlemen, you will not guess what comes next. It lights up. The inner cylinder lights up, creating a magnificent display because the outer cylinder has these holes of upside down confetti, and so you see the light and it starts changing colors from purple to a darker purple. I'm watching it right now just to see, to a red. I guess it's a lot slower than I thought. To blue, green, white, etc. It just keeps changing colors, but very slowly. A lot slower than you think. And so as it's changing these colors, it's heating up the water, heating up those essential oils. And out of nowhere, at the top, there's this little hole, kind of like I don't want to say it, but I have to say it. It's kind of like a nipple type of situation here. And out of the nipple comes the diffusation. Diffuse? The diffused water? Steam? Some sort of steam? And it shoots straight out of the hole. And it looks so cool because it goes up and then it just kind of flows down. And it's like this kind of smoke, vapor, dealio. And it smells magnificent. Now you hear the way I'm talking about this. You hear how long I've been talking about this? This diffuser is a game changer. Now, as I'm saying this, I did use the peppermint diffuser. And I tend to close my doors when I record, which I don't normally do. And my eyes are starting to get a little watery. So I think the peppermint is getting the job done. Let's see how long I can last before I have to turn off this diffuser, ladies and gentlemen. So we're at this mark. Time myself. Let's see how long it takes for me to have to open a door. Moving on to our next segment, we have the weekly optimism. Now this one is an affirmation more so, just something that you would say to yourself just to give you a little more positivity, a little more self-motivation, if you will. So this is something that you say to yourself. It's like, okay, I'm going to start my day on a great note. Nothing is going to stop me today. Those are things that you say to yourself to give you that confidence. So this weekly optimism goes a little something like this. I am worthy of all the love and happiness that comes my way on my birthday. Yes, Scarlett, that is foreshadowing of what's to come for this episode. And I use this affirmation because I feel like there are people out there where they feel like their birthday is just another day. And I get as time goes on, you might feel that way because getting older is tough. For me, it's more a physical toughness where, my body is not as agile as it once was back in my heyday. But I feel like a lot of people really just kind of allow their birthdays to go under the radar. Like, yeah, it's my birthday. It's just another 24 hours in the grand scheme of what is my life. And I tend to be this same type of person too. And I'm going to be honest, I love that Jen and my friends and my family are able to kind of really help me understand the excitement and the prominence of these types of days where it only comes once a year. If you're lucky, you get 75 24-hour moments like this in your life. And I feel like this affirmation is good for me personally because it allows me to be like, you know what? It is my birthday. This doesn't happen all the time. I am worthy of all the love and happiness that I'm going to be getting today. That's simply because I'm alive to be here today. And I have friends and family who love and appreciate me enough to be excited for this day and celebrate this day with me. So I would like all those people who kind of really downplay their birthday as just another day at the office to be like, you know what? Take the day off. Go to the beach. Take a lap. Get outside. This is not another day at the office. This is your day. There is no other day of the year that is more your day than your birthday. In my opinion, some people take Groundhog Day wildly serious, and to those of you who do, more power to you. But your birthday should be a close second, in my opinion. Now, as Scarlett alluded to earlier on, when she barked regarding the foreshadowing of what's to come, post-weekly optimism / affirmation, Scarlett, you are correct. My birthday is actually this upcoming Tuesday, May 21st, 2024 in this case, but I was born 1995. 29? Big reveal, it's a birthday episode. Look at me, it's a birthday episode. Who would have thought, Morty? Try to do it in a Rick voice. Let's try it again. Haha, big reveal, it's a birthday episode. Look at me, Morty, I'm a birthday episode. I'll work on it. But yes, Scarlett, you are correct. Cheer if you must, because this is a joyous occasion. We are doing the first birthday episode in Planet The Life I'm Lovin', featuring Vincent and Scarlett. Like I said before, birthdays are a big deal, and I tend to not make them a big deal, although I try to use them in certain ways. I try to not make things about me, but I know that sometimes, things need to be about me for me to get what I want. We all do it sometimes, come on. So I'm here to let you know what my birthday means to me. Like I alluded to earlier, I am going to be 29. For those of you who watch New Girl, I'm sure you know exactly what I'm referring to when I say 29? But I want to talk about what my birthday means to me personally. As I'm turning 29, what my 20s meant to me as they are ending in approximately 370-ish days. It's kind of nuts. And what's to come when the big 3-0 peeks its little head around the corner 370 days from now. It's a big year. It's an interesting year. My last year of being 20-something. Shouts out to that person that's losing big in a rap beef. Square root of 400 is 20-something. I think. He said the square root of 69 is 8-something, so I think that sounds right. Someone look it up, let me know. So without further ado, I give you the first ever Vincent and Scarlett birthday episode 29. First point I want to discuss is what my birthday means to me. And I wrote this down because when I was jotting down my notes, I was saying it and I was like, ooh, to each their own. But when you have a birthday, are you getting older or losing your youth? Are you getting something or are you losing something? ¿Por qué no los dos? Why not both? Am I right? But it's all, that's a glass half full, half empty type of scenario. Now I will say the main reason that I'm not too jazzed about getting older is physically. A lot of creaks, a lot of cracks in my body. But I'm not an old door. I'll say that once more. A lot of creaks, a lot of cracks in my body. But I'm not an old door. Shouts out to Super Hot Fire. But I'm not a rapper. And this is a great segue because Super Hot Fire is a battle rapper, if you will, on YouTube. A lot of great videos. He's got a classic meme. I don't really know the definition of a meme. It's like some sort of picture that they take that's just like a great moment in time for you to react to on a daily basis. Like, oh, Scarlett, you're so hairy. You make a hairy man look not hairy. Whoa! So then that's when that meme would pop up, and it's Super Hot Fire. He just said something really insane, looking at the camera, just staring there with a grin, and everyone in the background is just going nuts, absolutely bonkers. So, you say something like that, something that's Super Hot Fire, you add the meme, icing on the cake. That meme and those videos by Super Hot Fire back in the day are 12 years old. 2 years old, 12 years old. That means I was watching Super Hot Fire when I was 16 years of age, which was 12 years ago. I have been driving for 12 years. I have been out of high school for 10 years. I've been out of college for 5 years. My goodness. These are the things that made me think that getting old is so last century. People, games, episodes, things that I grew up with, things that I was living with, are getting retro. Ash Ketchum from Pokemon. He's not even on the show anymore, ladies and gentlemen. I know you all know who Ash Ketchum is because his OG homeboy is Pikachu, aka Peekapoo. They're not on the show anymore. He's got the red hat, blue jeans. You guys know who I'm talking about. Even if you don't watch Pokemon, you know what I'm talking about. Got that fancy hair that sticks out of the side. Man's got that Aquanet for days on the road. It's not on the show. The GameCube, Nintendo GameCube, which is arguably my favorite console of all time for gaming, I got that GameCube in 2004. The Nintendo Wii, that little white box that came with a little white rectangle that you could move and stuff, Wii Sports, the most revolutionary console to date, came out in 2006, 18 years ago, ladies and gentlemen. Would someone please come look at this? My favorite wrestler, The Undertaker, retired. Tom Brady, Peyton Manning, two of the greatest quarterbacks to ever live, retired. Stephen Curry, LeBron James, Kevin Durant, gross. Russell Westbrook, Chris Paul, CP3, they are all some of the oldest people in the NBA, National Basketball Association, as of today. The things around me, the things I grew up with are getting old. I'm starting to understand what people who played Nintendo 64 in their teenage years are understanding. I get it. Because the GameCube is the next generation's Nintendo 64. That's absolutely madness to me. On the bright side of getting older, having a birthday, I'm getting smarter every year. Every year, I'm getting a little bit smarter, life-wise. Less dumb things are both coming out of my mouth and coming out of my actions. Fingers crossed. As a youth, especially 16, once I started driving, mistakes were made. Emotions were not able to be not only understood, but controlled. As time went on, trial and error. Hey, you know what? Maybe I shouldn't put this wooden stick into a fire while I'm at the beach doing a bonfire and shove it into my shoulder to prove a point that I don't feel pain. Maybe I shouldn't do that. Maybe I should think before I talk. I hate to say it, but everyone is this way. If you were a tweeter when you were a teenager, you probably tweeted some things you're not too proud of. 1000% one of those people. Jason Kelsey, one of my favorite NFL football players, retired center for the Philadelphia Eagles. He was actually in a Twitter beef regarding horses doing steroids in years past. He actually was in a Twitter beef about if horses did steroids in years past. And someone said, hey, you should delete those comments, they're very ignorant. And he mentioned something about he's not a coward. He doesn't delete things. He owns up to them, he learns from them, but he does not delete things because at one point, that's what he was saying. Deleting things hides. We're not hiding. We are accepting, we are understanding, we are learning, and we are progressing. Am I right? That's right. Darn tootin', Scarlett. We're getting smarter work-wise. One of the things I was so nervous if I could do, and if I could do what it would feel like, is working at a job for longer than 2 years. Up until my current job, which I began in early 2020, I had never worked at a job for more than 2 years. So let's think about that. I was 25 when I started with my current employer, so 25 years of life, I never worked somewhere more than 2 years. And that was kind of wild because I feel like I was just starting over every time. And I didn't mind starting over because it allowed me to try something fresh and new, but I was getting tired of things. I was getting tired of it. I was doing these things that I knew were probably not the best idea, but I was doing them because I was bored. I ended up not having the job anymore. Whether I left or I was left, it is what it is. This job, it does get boring, but at the same time, it does get really, really difficult. There's always something to learn, and even though it's the same song and dance, there's a different crowd every time. So you get a different reaction post song and dance. So I have been with this employer for over 4 years now. So I've more than doubled my time with my previous employer. And it's really cool because even though I'm still the youngest on my team, I still have 4 years of knowledge under my belt. And so, granted, people may get hired that are older than me, but at the same time, I'll still know more about this specific job than they might. And that's really cool, because I guess I'm more so an elder statesman, even though I'm a young statesman, literally, compared to the others around me. But at the same time, I have the knowledge of a 4-year statesman, which I really appreciate. One of the other reasons that my birthday means so much to me is because I get to use it as an excuse. You only get one a year, people. Use it as an excuse. Jen and I tend to plan vacations around our birthdays. So this year we're going to San Diego next week, which is, a little something for my B-Day. For Jen's birthday, we usually get like a House and Joshua tree. We're not going to be doing that this year. We're going to be doing something a little different, which will be in episodes later on we'll discuss. One of the other things I like about my birthday is that it can also be a facade, if you will. Like in 2022, we had planned a trip to Hawaii for my birthday. Little did Jen know, I was planning on proposing in Hawaii. So she thought that we were just going to enjoy ourselves, enjoy Hawaii, enjoy my birthday. But I ended up proposing to her. And I don't think she had any idea. I hope she didn't have any idea. Maybe she did. But I don't think she did. Because it's my mind. I can do what I want. And so that was a fun time, because as much as it's about me, I try to make it about others because they don't expect it. I really enjoy that. And going off of that, it's also a great time to get friends and family together. You have your birthday parties, this and that. Have a birthday party. Friends or family, whoever you want to invite that you want to be within their presence, invite them for a gathering. It's such a great excuse to get people together. There is no greater excuse to get people together than your birthday. So one thing I love is, for friends that I don't see too often, I'll always invite them. Always, hey, come through. We're going to have, this, that. We're going to be at this place. Come through. We're going to be vibing. We vibing. And it just takes me back to a simpler time. A lot of my friends are from high school, so it takes me back to those times at the lunch tables, at break, on the football field, in the weight room, post-school, hanging out outside the school with a couple of guys who are up to really good things. Really great experience. Use this day as positively as you can and do things that you want to do as much as you can. There's no greater excuse to do what you want to do and be with who you want to be with than your birthday. And as we age, you can't just call someone up and ask them to hang out anymore. It's not like that. We're not living at our parents' houses and go to school and don't need to have a job. People have jobs. People are paying for their houses now. People have significant others. People have babies. People have their routines. And so you can't just hit someone up and be like, hey, let's hang out. So having your birthday, having something that everyone knows every year is coming at the same general time is a great time for people to be like mentally aware. It's like, okay, we're getting close to his birthday time. I know a party invite's coming. TBD. Excited for the invite to come my way. Oh man, it didn't come my way. Oh wow, it hasn't come my way for the past 5 years. Maybe he's not a fan. But it's the thought that counts. Moving on. My 20s are now approximately 370 days away from ending. So I just want to do a recap of my 20s and just really bask in the glory that was 20 to turning 29 Vincent. Community college, great time. When I was 20, I was at Santiago Canyon College, and then I found out that there was a broadcasting program, radio and broadcasting program at Fullerton Community College. So I transferred to that college. I went to 2 different community colleges, did a year and a half at each. Prior to my last semester at community college, snapped my leg. Broke it playing touch football out in the field at Jessamine Park. Craziest times of my life. I got a couple episodes in my past that really tackle, because we were playing football, really tackle my emotions in that moment. And the emotions after that moment, following that, going through that trauma, my first significant injury that really affected me. Even to this day, I'm still kind of traumatized in one way or the other. Post broken leg, healed it up. My 21st birthday was a hoot. I know my mom kind of saw the aftermath, so I guess I don't feel too terrible about saying this, but we had a house party, and I think upwards of about 100 people showed up, and it was pretty radical. Now, I'm gonna be honest, I did knock out, fall asleep in my bed, which I fell asleep in my bed. I wasn't outside in the grass on a chair. I was in my bed, safe and sound, Mom. I fell asleep in my bed probably around 11 p.m., so I actually didn't go too crazy. People just kept giving me beverages, alcoholic or not. Wasn't a big deal. I was grateful for the gift. I was drinking them. And that was also my golden birthday. My birthday is May 21st. It's my 21st birthday. We were riding high. A couple months later, moved to San Francisco. First time moving away for school. First time living somewhere so far away from my family. That was its own trial and tribulation in itself. And in San Francisco, I met some new friends. I was going to school. I was becoming independent. And here comes the love of my life, Jennifer Ortega. She was my boss. We were working at Buffalo Wild Wings, Wings Beer Sports. not a promotion. I just can't imagine where my life would be if I didn't move to San Francisco. It was between San Francisco, Northridge, Arizona State. I chose San Francisco State. I don't know what it was. I think it was just the change of weather. It was far, but not too far. It was just a spur of the moment. I was just like, this is it. This is the place. And who would have thought that I would come back from San Francisco, graduated from the Broadcast Electronic Communication Arts Department at San Francisco State, but come back with who would later be my fiance and wife as of today. If you're gonna move somewhere for 4 years and you come back married with a degree, that's not living life correctly. I don't know what is, people. And Jen and I, we moved in together pretty quickly. I think we moved in together legitimately 7 months into dating. We were staying over at each other's houses majority of the times anyway, so we thought, why not? And it taught us a lot. Living together is its own battle. You're dealing with a completely different human being and someone who you've only known for maybe a year or so, but you've never really lived with. You don't know their day-to-day mannerisms or how they are at home. And Jen and I have been doing it for 6 years. Like, us moving from San Francisco to Southern California back in 2020 was difficult, but it was just us getting better at living together. And we were just learning each other, even to this day. Like, I think Jen's gonna get home from work and I'm gonna learn something new about her today. How rad is that? And she's just in my space and we're just cohabitating together. And it's so cool because I want to be with her 24/7 if I could. Like, I don't see where I would prefer to spend my time with anyone else. No offense, everybody else on the planet. But if that's not what a wife is, or what a significant other is to you, then what are we doing here? What are we doing here? Gotta be your A1. Gotta be your numero uno compadre. But that's just me. Everyone finds marriage and relationships differently, and they see them differently, so to each their own. Love everyone, love all. Peace. So moving on, we moved to Rancho Santa Margarita in 2020, moved to Anaheim Hills in 2023 to be closer to family and friends, which was great. We have a much bigger space, so we're learning to live in this space, learning to clean in this space, learning to host events in this space. It's really awesome. But I think the main thing that I'm really proud of in this new space that Jen and I obtained is the podcast. To me, the podcast is something that I am doing that is not a job, that I'm not getting paid for, that I am being consistent with. Working out, I was consistent for a time. I think everyone might feel the same way to an extent, unless like you have it in your genes to be an athlete. Usually you tend to chill out on working out once you find a significant other. Once you're done peacocking for whoever you're trying to impress and you obtain the fellow peacock, tend to slow it down in the bodybuilding department, you know what I'm saying. Tend to stop working out. Tend to start going out, eating French fries, caviar, cotton candy, things of that nature. No worries, because you're vibing together. And I love that. So working out, I'm not really committed to. The only things that I'm legitimately committed to are Jen, Scarlett, my family, my friends, and my work, because I have to be, because it gets me dough to do things with Jen, Scarlett, my family, my friends. The podcast is something that I am just like doing for me, for whoever wants to hear this, and hoping that something comes out of this, but I'm not getting paid for this. I'm not getting anything out of it besides my personal feeling of success. And over time, it'll just keep feeling that way, hopefully. And it's a great feeling. I love it. And I think one of the hard parts about my 20s was figuring out how to incorporate that broadcast electronic communication arts major, how to incorporate that high school man on the street reporter for the high school broadcast program. It was just figuring out where I fit in my life that I could do, where I wasn't super dedicated to sports or super dedicated to traveling or super dedicated to wearing a suit and being a weatherman on TV. So I'm very grateful that I was able to find podcasting as a start, and then voice acting just kind of came to me. It was something where I was like, I love cartoons, I love talking, but I don't like being on camera and stuff. Voice acting, 2 and 2 together, fish, love it. Now what comes after my 20s? We got them big 3-0s. We got them thoides. Them big 3-0s, Scarlett. You said it best. What am I excited for now that my 30s are 370-ish days around the corner from now? I say 370-ish days, and that's gonna come sooner than I'd like to believe, because every year has gone by quicker than the year before, in my opinion. If it's just me, then how I'm living life is kind of weird, but I feel like as age progresses, as time goes on, the years get a little bit quicker. How are we already almost halfway through the year? New Year's was just yesterday. Scarlett, we just rescued from the desert yesterday. But no, that was almost 4 years ago. Madness. But with my 30s coming, I'm excited for growing. I'm excited for working on all of those things that I was excited to obtain in my 20s. You know, ensuring that Jen is happy in our relationship and fulfilled, if you know what I'm saying, in our relationship. Making sure that we're still learning about each other, making sure that we're still on the same team, working towards a common goal, which is our happiness above everything else. Very excited for that. And what comes with that is growing and our family growing. Whether that mean another 3 to 4-legged creature, another little boobas, or a biped, a little baby in my 30s. Whatever comes our way, we're going to be happy because we have each other. We're going to be doing life together. So I'm excited to grow as a parent with Jen and with myself and with Scarlett, whatever comes our way, whoever comes our way. I'm excited to grow in terms of the podcast. My 30s, if I keep doing this or something of this nature for a good 10 more years, I hope I'll be a little better at it. Who knows? But it's something that I want to continue doing. It's something that I want to continue doing for years and years and years to come. And I'm excited to see where I'm at. I'm excited to see then versus now, and then now looking at it when I was 20 in community college doing speeches in class to me sitting in our townhome doing a podcast with my best buddy. Don't eat your toy, best buddy. What I'm not too excited for, I mentioned earlier, the aging of the body. I think age is pretty cool. I don't know why, but the idea of being... How old are you? Oh, I'm 37. Sounds kind of cool. I feel like saying that you're in your 30s, not in your 30s, but saying, 32, 33. I don't know why. That sounds like a good decade to say that you are. It's like you're right on the cusp of post-child amateur adult to like your prime adulthood. Maybe like your late 30s or like prime adulthood. That may be like the middle of your life. I don't know. It just sounds kind of cool to be 30. Sounds cool to be 29. That's not here nor there. But I'm not too excited for the aging body. The creaks, the cracks. As time goes on, I feel that I need to stretch more often. I feel that time goes on, me doing different sports, different physical activities, bowling, basketball, football. I was moving rocks on my patio last week, and my hamstrings were sore for days after. So I'd say this: if you give me 20-year-old pre-broken leg Vincent body with 29-year-old Vincent brain, ladies and gentlemen, get ready for a whirlwind of confidence and destruction. It would be madness. I would achieve so many great things. I would probably do the exact same thing that I'm doing now, but I might have an adult league basketball championship under my belt, because I was a lot better at hooping back in my heyday. Now that I've broken my leg, the trauma has set in where I know that I am still capable of things, but at the same time, mentally, I'm like, oh, don't step too hard on that ankle, don't do this on that ankle, blah, blah, blah. And that's in my psyche. Wasn't in my psyche at 20. But those are the things that age does to you. You go through stuff and you start thinking twice about things, and that can be a good thing, can be a bad thing. Teach their own. You gotta figure out what's good and what's bad to think twice and not think twice on. To conclude this podcast episode, at the end of the day, I'm just blessed to see another year. Nothing is promised. I've always thought more money, more ability to obtain fancy, expensive vitamins and treatment and medical procedures, etc. But you see celebrities and rich people passing away earlier than you'd expect all the time. And then you have people who don't have too much, don't have the resources that some people with more money may have, who are living to be 80, 90, 100 years old. Nothing is promised. Just because you have this doesn't mean you get that. So that's why I just want to be grateful that I'm here. Grateful of all the positive and negative things that I've gone through to get me here. Grateful for all the people in my life who have shaped and molded me, who have been by my side, who have allowed me to pick from their brain things that I take with me every single day. And I'm honored that they allowed me to be within their presence to enjoy that brain, and for them to possibly pick things from mine. Teach their own, I am, if anyone comes up to me and says that I learned something from you because of this, I am like, take more. Do what you need to do, fam. If you're a success because of something that I might have said or done, grateful. Thankful. Excited. I'm excited for what's to come. I'm excited for this weekend because I'm having friends and family one day for dinner, and then the next day I'm going to be meeting some friends for, a little brewery action. It's always great. Chill vibes, no worries. So for those of you who have a birthday, make it a point to have people come to you. You deserve to have people come to you and enjoy your space, wherever that may be. Make it happen. Be proud of your birthday. You only get one a year, use it. Stay at home, do what you need to do. As I said in the beginning of the episode, rate, subscribe, vote, follow, RSVP, have some great drinks, have some great food, eat some great dinner, and continue to love the life you're living. Take care.